All right, welcome everybody. This is What's Up for Your Children, and it's October 5th, 2021. So there's a lot going on. We'll see what's we'll see what's showing up for you guys. So anyway, Sharon, why don't you actually hold on a second. Let's start somewhere else because there is a lot going on. Hold on. Okay, so let's do this before we even start. Let's go into the high heart area, not the physical heart, but up the high heart area up towards the clavicle. And as we're in the high heart area, I just sit there, sit in that energy for just a second. Yeah, it definitely impacts the throat as well. Physical heart and the throat, the high heart's right in between. So let's just sit in there for just a second. And let's just notice what that energy is doing in the moment. You know, is it expanding? Is it contracting? It feels like there's quite a bit of vibration in that space, which to me means that it's trying to expand. And so if it's trying to expand for us, you can only imagine that that is going to be a benefit to energetically sensitive kids. That high heart energy is the energy that they are, let's say, playing off of all the time. And so let's just let that kind of vibrate open a little bit. You can breathe into that space if you like and exhale it open. But what we're really noticing here is that something's trying to change, something's trying to move. There's an expansion that wants to happen. Okay. All right. And so high heart energy is also extremely potent. So a little movement in the high heart energy really makes a big difference. So we're not trying to get it to go, you know, from the size of a dime, you know, to the size of the universe. It's not that. We're just inviting it to expand to whatever degree it wants to, can. There we go. There we go. It's almost like a little bit of a shudder, like a shuddering of energy. It just opens as it moves. Here we go. Okay, so we're just going to tone this into place so that we can hold this expanded high heart energy. Okay, get him at the day. Ooh, I can get him. Now take a nice deep inhale into that space and exhale. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah, it's interesting. It's all right there. All right, Sharon, so what have you got for me?
Okay, first question is, my nonverbal 8-year-old daughter is having to see her dad again for the first time in 20 months. She struggled with the transition of going with him. And is there something I can do to make these visits easier for her, or is there something she is feeling that I can help her with?
You know, first, let me just say, it's like so often, you know, I'm not saying that you're doing this, but I want to say this as a general statement. So often we dismiss the reactions or the responses that kids have to the situations that they're asked to be, that we're asking them to be in, right? And a lot of times, you know, especially these energetically sensitive kids, I mean, they're picking up nuances of the environment, of the person's psyche, of the the belief systems, the love or the lack thereof, they're picking up all of that kind of energy. And so it makes sense that they would have challenges and difficulties going into these different environments, right? It's also clear that, when we're in certain situations, that legal situations, for instance, I mean, it's in many ways we can't say, no, we're not going. It's like, or those situations are taking place. One of the things that I would do in this case is first acknowledge for her that she does feel the way she feels, and that validate the fact that she is picking up what she's picking up. It's real and it's true. And also that we can create a little bit of a buffering energy for her as far as going into those other environments. But we can also ask, um, let's say, the greater space, the universe, God, source, all that is, whatever it is, to to create opportunities. Yeah. So that all kinds of things can happen, right? All kinds of things can happen. And she's smiling when we say that as well. It's like we don't have to always try to figure out how we're going to not put her in that situation when she doesn't want to be in that situation. But we do need to remember to ask for some support, to ask for some help. And if that help doesn't seem to come in the realm of, something happens and she can't go, or something happens and they cancel, or, there could be all kinds of things like that, then let's buffer her up. Then let's create a field around her so that she goes into these different situations with as much energetic sovereignty as she possibly can. A lot of that sovereignty is, however, going to come in the acknowledgement that she feels what she feels and it's real. It's not about her not liking this person or not wanting to like this person, not wanting to love this person. She's just a very clear reflection of that energy. And when that energy is confused and traumatized, and of course, she's going to be confused and traumatized by the experience. Yeah. Um, so let me see if there's anything else here. Yeah. I also think that there are, again, because this is kind of more on the legal side of things, there's also, I would be keeping notes. I would also be keeping some type of notes, maybe even, interestingly, like a little bit of video or something like that. Like if she's complaining or if she's not wanting, not that you're going to just throw that out and present that right off the bat, but I definitely would keep a little video log of that information, because if nothing else, it keeps you sane in knowing that this is what you're picking up. But more importantly, I think at some point it gives you the opportunity to say, hey, look, this is what's going on for her every time we have these meetings or we have these. Yeah. So, and that doesn't lie, that doesn't lie. So I hope that's helpful. Yeah.
All right, this question. My friend is pregnant, unexpected pregnancies, and wondering if Suzy could say hello to the baby, and she's not sure about this unexpected pregnancy.
The mother's not sure about the unexpected pregnancy. Yeah, she's not sure that, yeah, it's like the timing's right and all that other fun stuff. Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to ask you for this person's name here, but just hold that name in your awareness. So let's see what she's. Well, the baby, the very first thing that the baby said is, I've got to get here. I've just got to get here. It's like this particular mother, obviously wasn't planning this, but she also, um, to use the word needs this, we'll kind of keep that a little bit loose, but the baby is saying she doesn't even know that she needs this experience. She doesn't know yet that she needs it. She doesn't know yet the contribution or that I bring. And yet the baby's very interested and excited to jump into this. A while back did a children's sanctuary called The New Kind, and this one falls right into that category. So yeah, very kind of overwhelming. I mean, it's always overwhelming to find out that you're having a child when you didn't anticipate having one. And at the same time, the baby's all ready. And on some level, mom also knew that this was something that was, and I keep hearing the word needed. So it was something that was needed. It's something that's required for her growth, her development, her kindness. Yeah, it brings that to the surface for the mother as well. So anyway, I hope that's helpful.
My nonverbal 8-year-old is a very picky eater. She gravitates to eating crackers and foods that aren't as healthy during the day, but I'm able to get her to eat veggies and proteins in the evenings. We are treating her yeast infection, and I feel like these unhealthy foods are contributing to her condition. How can I get her to want to eat healthier foods during the day at school?
So you can just answer yes or no. Is she eating, so she's eating junk or that kind of food at school, not at home, but at school? Yeah, it's the yeah, that's what I was wondering, because it feels like it's the vibration of school as well, right? Okay, so each environment has a different vibrational, each environment is a different vibrational space. And so in your environment, you might be holding nutrition or particular diets, as healthy and supportive and those kinds of things. You take the collective consciousness of an educational system, and there's all kinds of other energies that are mixed into that, right? It's I mean, look at a basic school lunch. Like if somebody was to hand her over a basic school lunch. So I'm just trying to see. So are you packing her lunch? Yep. Okay. Yeah. And so okay, you're packing her lunch. Okay. So let me see something here, because it definitely is the environment. It's kind of lends itself to a lesser focus on healthy eating and those kinds of things. It's a different energy altogether than being at home and eating. And I think that this is really important. I want to know if we can. Let's just try this. We're going to create, and we just talked about this, for her too, and some of the moving back and forth between parents. Again, everything that you're bringing up for her today is all about different environments and how she negotiates the energetics of these different environments. So can we not only pack her lunch, but can we also pack her energetic field with a particular environment as she goes off to school? So what would that look like? So, if we're going to create a sphere around her, or if we're going to infuse that field with a healthy body, a healthy mind, healthy emotions, healthy choices. If we literally talk to her about that before school and energetically feed that into her field, let's see what kind of choices she makes. Because you're not there to help her make those choices clearly, while she's at school and you're not. But what we can do is we can start to create kind of an environment within an environment, an energetic environment within an environment. And yeah, and I think this brings up another point, is that we have a tendency to think that our children and we are at the mercy of whatever environment we find ourselves in. But that's not really the case. We can really create the environment that we are putting ourselves in, environments within environments. And so, whatever that looks like for you, seeing yourself in a sphere, seeing her in a sphere, um, transferring. Yeah, we can do that. I was like, can we do that? Transferring information, right? Into that field. And again, we can't make them choose that field, but we can create an environment where it's available to them. If it's not even available, of course, she's not going to choose it. But if it is available in the field, and if, maybe packing lunch from home and giving her certain options, um, yes, she can reach across the table and grab a cracker, or she can do something else, but let's create as much of that environment within that environment as we possibly can, and see what choices she makes there. So even if she eats a little less at school and eats a little more at home, that's all right too. Yeah, because it is taking its toll on her gut. So yeah.
Okay, that's it on questions.
All right. Okay. So let me see what else might want to be shared here. So here's just a couple things, because if you read the newsletter from, I think it just went out yesterday or so, October pretty packs a punch in honestly a really good way. I mean, I think there's so much transformation happening in October, probably into November, December for sure. But October is really like the pivot point. It's like the turning point. And so one of the benefits of that turning point, of course, the outer world can look like it's all in upheaval at that time. But the real benefit when it comes to energetically sensitive kids is that energetic environment, that soup that they've been swimming in for such a very long time, their whole lives, that's changing now. I mean, it's broken apart to such a degree now that it's just caving in, dismantling. It can't even hold itself up anymore. And so through the next 4 to 6 weeks, especially, we're going to, as the adults, we're going to be seeing all kinds of verification or validation of that. So again, if we've got all of these kids who are energetically sensitive, one, they may be feeling that dismantling, but let's continue to redirect them to this new environment, this new collective environment that's available. Let's start redirecting them. If they're having a meltdown, or if they're feeling overwhelmed, or if they're feeling that dismantling, again, we're going to acknowledge that, yes, honey, that is exactly what's happening. You're feeling that, not just in your own home environment to one degree or another, but you're feeling that in a collective way. And then let's kind of redirect them to what's beyond that. Let's just sit here together and like feel into, on their behalf, what's beyond all the chaos. What does it actually feel like when things start mm, expanding exponentially, start expanding in ways that we couldn't even fathom, we didn't even know was possible. So again, we're feeding a particular type of energy, not just food, but we're feeding a particular kind of energy to our kids. And if your kids are, of the age where they're going to kind of roll their eyes and go, oh, mom, stop talking energy to me, and that kind of thing, that's all right too. Just feel into that space and energetically, not through your verbal words, but energetically just offer that energy as an opportunity to their space. Yeah, because the more of us that click into what's beyond all this chaos that we've been going through and start jump starting the next iteration of humanity, the next growth spurt for humanity, the faster, especially these energetically sensitive kids, are going to feel more at home. Yeah. So that said, I will say that um, Avatar Energetics is coming up. The Autism Integration series, I'm going to do that series again. It's starting in a couple weeks, maybe a week. And these are really nice classes to be in through this time. The Autism Integration series, although it's laid out the way it was last time on the website, there is going to be an awful lot of focus on creating feeding feeding particular awarenesses, feeding particular energies. We're going to take each week and we're going to look at that topic and we're going to feed that into the field, right? So both for you and for them, because we're recreating anew now, which is really kind of fun. So anyway, all right, hope to see you around the block, and if not, I'll see you next month. So bye.